My name is Peter Saul. I oversee the consulting team here at Capital Business Solutions, and I'm also part of the Blackbaud customer team. I have Christy Anderson with me. Christy is a long-term senior consultant for Capital Business Solutions, and she's also part of my consulting team. She'll be leading us through the upcoming content portion of the webinar. Just as an aside, Christy trained me on Blackbaud products back in 1998. She's a Blackbaud alumnus and has led implementations and consulting projects for Capital Business Solutions since 2001. We also have Robbie Pollack, who oversees our technical team that's focused on complementary products for the Financial Edge, and Robbie is going to be our moderator today. As many of you may have heard, we have re-partnered with Blackbaud and our certified Blackbaud channel partners. This really allows us to extend our consulting success that we started back in 1998 and gives us the ability to work with you not only on the service side, but also on the sales side of the equation, really giving you a single point of contact. I should mention that Blackbaud fully embraces this. We work with them together as a team on the sales side. Although quite large, that is our new official Blackbaud channel partner logo. So now in today's topic, Financial Edge NXT. As a current customer of Financial Edge, you're facing an opportunity right now to change over to and transition to Financial Edge NXT. As with any change, it brings on anxiety, fear, confusion, and you may be able to list other adjectives and verbs here. But basically, change going from Financial Edge to NXT, you can think of it as really two windows into the same product. You've got the window over on the left-hand side, which is what you're accustomed to, Financial Edge, and you have the new window, Financial Edge NXT, over on the right-hand side. Both of these products look into your database. They're both fully functional. So as you're learning Financial Edge NXT, you will have the capability to switch back to Financial Edge. Gives you a lot of capabilities to really learn and consume Financial Edge NXT over a period of time. When you look over on the right-hand side, that's really Blackbaud's investment into the future. Blackbaud will be expanding that window over time, be adding new features to that window, and it's really the long-term vision of Blackbaud. So, you know, the sooner you get over into NXT, the better opportunity you'll have to take advantage of new functionality. As a user, again, you can learn at a reasonable pace, expanding what you know on Financial Edge over in the NXT environment. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Christy Anderson. Christy's going to lead us through the webinar today. Thank you again for joining. Christy?
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're just going to take a look and kind of get a feel for how the new NXT is going to look and function so that you can get an idea of where we're going and some new functionality that we're really excited about that users have been asking for quite a long time. The first thing we're going to do is basically when you log in, it's going to have the web-based, so when you log into your Internet Explorer or Google, it will allow you to function just as you do in any kind of Windows functionality. It has the nice streamlined look and feel of Windows. Now, it allows you to access it from a computer, a tablet, or even a smartphone. So you can go in, log in, look at information, pull up a report from anywhere. Now, why go to the cloud? Some advantages of having it in the cloud versus on your network is it will improve performance, it will lower your costs, and reduce the burden on your IT. Easy access for everyone. It doesn't have to have a program installed. You can access it from any website, wherever you're at. And it also will help you streamline your workflow. Additionally, it will have the most current version of the software always installed for you to access. With the NXT, they will be adding new features on a monthly or bi-monthly basis. And so you'll continually see new things happening and new features being implemented into the system. It also provides you with the network support and resources to maintain that database and to have the backups and everything like that completed for you. Lastly is the data security. With going online to the cloud, Blackbaud provides that security of your data for you to be able to access and the layers of security that you'll need. Now, when you first log in, navigating is going to be a little bit different than it is in the current version. It's going to be a lot more streamlined and easy to move from product to product and window to window. When you first log in, then you will see your main menu, how you can go from your different products, general ledger, payables, receipts, and access the information quickly and easily. The drop-down menu gives you where you can go, so you can jump easily from journal entries over to payables and invoices without having to constantly switch screens like we do in the current database. It also will allow you to jump quickly and seamlessly over to the database view. So if you need to go over and view it from the different point of view, it gives you a quick link to jump over to that view to be able to get to your database. When you log in, it also shows your user login here, but it also, if you click on your login, it allows you to quickly and easily jump to Blackbaud's website. So you'll be logged into their website and can look through knowledge base or any questions that you have. You'll be right there quickly and easily. And lastly, the user help is actually a very quick and easy to access and will pop in and out as you need it throughout the system. Wherever you're at, that was the first place the help will be, and gives you some up-to-date information on what's happening with those screens. So the nice streamlined look will help us navigate and move around. Once you select from your menu, they're called the list pages. So now, basically, this will be the screen for your records and the information that you will see. So whether you're looking at a journal entry, an invoice, a vendor, whichever system you're in, whichever page you're on, that's kind of your record that you will be on. The tabs are no longer part of the record. It just is a nice scroll down, and we can actually see the information listed and grouped.
Hey, Christy, this is Robbie, the moderator. If I could just interrupt just for a second, a couple of things. I think the right-hand side of your slides are cut off. I'm not sure that we're seeing everything that you're trying to show. I don't know if there's any adjustment that you might be able to make there. And secondly, for the audience, as we go through today, we're going to have a Q&A at the end of the presentation. So if you'll look on the right-hand side of your screen, you have a chat window there, and there's a place for you to enter questions. So as you think of a question that you're going to have, go ahead and feel free to enter that in, and we'll be sure to take those questions at the end of the presentation. So go ahead and make sure you enter those in as we go. So yes, Christy, that's much better. Now okay. We can see everything. Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay. Once you've selected, back to where we were navigating through the list pages, once you've selected from your menu whether you're going to a journal entry, accounts, invoices, then below you'll see a list of the individual records. So you don't have to do a search immediately. Everything will just pop up and show you the listed information. Now at the bottom, next to each record, there are 3 little dots, and it allows you to view or edit the record from there quickly and easily. Now, additionally, you'll be able to add records just as we always could. So when you are on the screen, click on Add Records, and you'll be able to quickly and easily add your records from here. Or if you're opening an existing record or on the actual list view, you can actually export to Excel. A little different than just clicking on the Excel button. It will actually download like a Windows file will, and you'll see in the bottom left-hand corner just the file. Once you click on that, it will open to Excel immediately. So it's still quick and easy to get your information out to Excel to review, manipulate, or whatever you need to do to send information. The next section over is you can actually search. When you search, it will actually search based on if it's contained anywhere in a description, a vendor name, any part of the fields. It will actually do the search. You don't have to pick which field you want to search on. It'll search all of them for us. So once you type in the information, then it will highlight where it's found the information, and it will filter and tell you up here at the top how many records it has found. So much quicker and easier to look for and narrow down lists of information. Additionally, we can quickly and easily modify the information that's showing across on our screen left to right. So if you click on your Choose Columns, it's a button at the top up there, it will let you actually pick and choose which columns are important and information you want to see. You can rearrange the order then from left to right. So if I want my vendor name first, I can drag that to the left, and that will be the first column I see when I open up my invoices. So when you're choosing your columns, they are listed in the fields in alphabetical order. So just scroll down, pick the fields you want, and then you can rearrange them once they've been selected. So a lot of flexibility and user definition here that we can do. And lastly is the filters. There's a filter button, and when you click on it, just kind of pops over to the right. And then we can filter, so we've got a long list, and the longer you've used the system, the more invoices you would have. And let us filter. I only want to see invoices for the current month, or the open invoices, or I only want to see those that are pending. So it lets you really kind of filter out what group of records you want to see. If you have set a filter, then if a filter is set, it will show right underneath, so you'll see at the top always what information is being shown. So you don't have to worry about missing that a filter was set, because it will always show you at the top that filtered information. So it makes it, again, quick and easy to have that information flow through, controlling what is showing up constantly on that list view. Next, we can also do from the list pages what's called a quick view. The quick view lets us view the information without having to actually fully open up the record and still allowing us to see the full list that we have. If you click on either the invoice or the vendor name, it'll be highlighted in blue, then it will pop over to the right-hand side and just allow you to quickly view that information. So if I wanted to see some vendor information, I wanted to look at an address or verify information, then I can just kind of scroll down here and see the information without having to open up fully that record. Same thing for full invoice view. So if I just want to double check to see which invoice this was without having to fully open it, it just lets me quickly look at the information. Now once I've looked at the information, if I decide I need to open that record in full, there is a button at the top that allows us to quickly just jump to that record. If I had a list of invoices I was looking through and wanted to double check information, there are arrows at the top that allow me to scroll through so I don't have to keep opening and closing that information. So again, being able to see some information quickly and easy without having to fully open or jump to the records. Now, there are a few new features that we're pretty excited about. One of them is reporting. A suggestion that's been out there for quite some time is being able to drill down to our reports. So when we run a report, we can click on the detail and drill down to see the detailed activity for an account or see what makes up the activity for that report. The second is reports can now be all run from one location. So instead of having to go to the different subsystems to run the reports for that system, they're all located in the same spot. So it makes running end-of-month reports or end-of-year reports more seamless and streamlined. Second thing is our bank feeds. This will allow us to connect directly to our online banking and be able to pull in and do comparisons and feed that information into our system. Next is copying previous invoices from vendors. A lot of users have the same type of invoices from month to month for many types of vendors, and allow us to copy that information quickly and easily. The next one is a single screen for data entry. Right now we have to go to multiple tabs, and sometimes we forget because we don't see it because it's not on the tab that we can see. So now there's just a single screen that allows us to scroll down and see information. The analysis or dashboards have been improved. They allow us to have better graphs and information at the tips of our fingers just to have a glance at the data that's in the system. And lastly is the customization of the records that we're viewing. So before the tabs were set in order and we could not change that information, now we can control which information we see towards the top of the record versus information that we don't find as important towards the bottom. So with our reporting, when we go into reports, then we have our list page that shows all of the reports. Filtering is going to be important when you're dealing with your reports so that you're not looking at every report that parameter that's saved for all the systems at every time. So it'll let us pick from every report that's in the system, whether it's general ledger, accounts payable, cash receipts, bank records, information. It lets us pick and filter out which one we want to look at this moment. And just like previously, we have the saved parameters that have the column set or the parameter set the way that we want, and then it will show that list for us when we filter it out. Okay? So it allows us to quickly and easily run the reports, download them, and export the information. Now also additionally, you'll see kind of behind some additional buttons that say these are recently run. So if I've just run the last reports, it'll let me quickly go back and find the report that I just ran versus having to remember what the name of it was. Those that are run on a regular basis. So if I run a daily reports or weekly reports, those will show up under the frequently run. Or if you have favorite reports that you want to use on a regular basis, we can mark them as our favorites, and then they'll just show up under our favorite section, allowing us to quickly and easily access them. Again, the favorites and the frequent can go across multiple packages. So it makes it easy to find that information. Now, the data I'm most excited about is the drill down capability from reporting. This has been a feature that has been wanted for quite some time, and we're excited that it's now here in the NXT version to allow us to drill down to the details when we're looking at a report. So if I've previewed an income statement or a bank statement, then it allows me to drill down to the detail and the level to those accounts. So depending on which report you're running, it will vary, but what you can drill down to is highlighted in blue. So if I'm running in this scenario an income statement, then if I click on the account description, then that will allow me to drill down to that level of detail. When you click on that, it will actually take you to the account, and as you can see at the top, it kind of gives us the summary information. And as you scroll down on that same page, it gives us the summarized information in which we can drill down even further to get to the line item activity. So it's a really good feature that allows us to quickly find out what makes up the numbers from our reports without having to go back and manually pull them up or run something different. Next is a new feature. It's called Bank Feed. This allows us to link to our online banking. And when we link to our online banking, then we can pull up on a daily basis or weekly on a regular basis and pull up the information and clear out on a regular basis versus waiting to the end of the month to do a reconciliation. So each day, each month, each week, we can actually pull up and show all the checks, all of the receipts, and match them up to the information and records that are in our system. It does link with the third party. You'll need to ensure that the security and quick online access, but it's seamless as you go through the process that you'll be able to see your bank and the transactions that are in your financial aid system. Next is adding and copying the invoice information. Many organizations have invoices of the same month after month, for example, our utility bills or our phone bills, and the distribution is based on department. So having to refill out the information every month can be cumbersome and time-consuming. Now, whenever you add in a new invoice, immediately to the right, it gives you the option to copy previous information from an invoice. Now, it will show the last 4 invoices that you've keyed into the system, but it will also allow you to search for one. Maybe it was something from a prior year that you just have once a year that you want to pull up and pull in that information. When you select that invoice, then it will copy all of the pertinent information, but it will not copy the dates or the invoice number, since those are usually unique to a particular month. So most of the information that you're keying in will copy from month to month without having to set up a recurring that sometimes just is not the same amounts or the same things that you need to pull in. This is a quick way to copy that information and get it into the system. The single screen for data entry. I know one of the things that's challenging for new users a lot of times is the multiple tabs when doing data entry, because they forget to go to the GL distribution tab or they forget some required information. Now it's a nice streamline. Just scroll down as you're doing your data entry and all the information will be right at your fingertips. So no more having to go from place to place. It will all be right here. And just like always, if you forget to key in a field that is required, it will remind you and not let you proceed forward if you're missing information. It also allows you to quickly jump to related information. So if I wanted to go to the vendor, it lets me click on the vendor's name and jump directly to that record and pull it up, review information, etc. So just a little bit more streamlined so you can do data entry a little bit more quickly. Lastly is to customize the record view. When opening up record information, this will allow us to change the order. So by default, it's showing the contact information, default distributions, activity. And if I want my activity at the top so I can see it first when I'm pulling up information, then I can drag the fields and show information where it's important to me. Additionally, it allows me to collapse. So instead of having everything open for full detail at all times, you can collapse fields that you may not need to see on a regular basis, again, making it easier to see the information that is important. Okay? It allows you up here also to fully expand or fully collapse all the records at one time as well. So if I want to collapse everything and then just open up one field, it just makes it quick and easy to manipulate and move around. Okay. The dashboard that exists is a little cumbersome at times. The analysis view allows us to quickly and easily see graphs and grids and summarized information of our database at our fingertips. So I can have from payables to projects to grants, outstanding checks, anything that I need to see, I can have a tab set up for me to have different views of that information. At the top of this particular one for our payables, it lets us filter by dates. It lets us filter out based on specific information quickly and easily. And it also gives us a summary. So what is a percentage? What is a total outstanding? It gives us a quick view based on graphs. And as you scroll down a little bit further, it allows you also to see some detailed information. So not only does it give us this summarized, but if we just scroll a little bit further on the screen, it will give us the line item details of what makes up those numbers that's on the graph and the grid. So again, no need to drill down or go to another page. It's all selected in one area. If you have any questions, you can contact Jenny, and I'm going to turn it back over to Peter with a summary of, or Robbie.
Hi, this is Robbie. We're going to go ahead now and have a Q&A session here at the end. So if you have questions, go ahead and feel free to enter those in the question section, and we will go ahead and get to those. We do have a couple questions here already that have been presented, so we'll go ahead and get things started with these first couple of questions. Question number one, Christy, is what is the learning curve like for using FE-NXT?
The learning curve is just a little bit of a change. You'll have some new ways of looking at the data. Some of the shortcuts aren't the same, and it'll have more of a Windows view and feel to it. But there'll still be some of the basics in the fields that you're used to seeing in the current database.
Okay. And the next question we have here is that if you could just reiterate again, if we understand correctly, that bank feeds will allow for daily reconciliations to your bank account.
Yes, that you can pull in information because it's online. You can pull in daily reconciliations, and it will clear out daily those transactions that are in your system and in your bank.
And that's an automated process, correct?
Yes, but it will also allow you, if it does not find a match, that you can manually also match things up if the deposit amounts or things like that are not identical.
Great, awesome, thank you. Let's see, we have another question here, so let's see what this is. Question is where does the new accounts receivable module fall into this new system?
Currently, the accounts receivable is not accessible through the NXT view. You would still have to access that from your current database view. But you would be able to access it from the cloud through the Citrix and would be able to access that again from anywhere.
And the data that's in AR is still all integrated into one single database in the same general ledger, so it's not like it's two separate databases and two separate systems.
Right. The NXT is an overlay of the current database, so you'll still be able to access information from both the Windows view and currently accessing it the same way that you currently are. Receivables just has not added that layer into the NXT yet. Oh, there's another question.
So the next question, Christy, is we may not have a complete roadmap here, but anything that you might be able to add in terms of when is full integration to NXT expected?
I am not sure. At this point, they're continually adding new features and updates on a monthly or bi-monthly basis in some cases. So when new features are added, then we will let you know what those features are. But at this point, it's just adding each piece at a time.
Okay, we have another question that says Financial Edge is used as a subledger, and because it's cloud-based, the system updates are automatic. And the question is there any way to opt out of those automatic updates? And the answer to that's going to be no, because again, it's a cloud-based solution. So as they update the system, those updates are going to be applied in the cloud. So everyone that's using FENXT is always going to be on the same exact version and the same exact release. Other questions? Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions at this point, Christy. So at this point, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up. I will turn it back over to Peter Saul for any closing comments. And again, as Peter mentioned at the beginning, we did record the webinar, so we will have this available to you. So if you would like a link to this overview recorded, let us know that in your feedback survey form, and we'll be happy to provide that to you. So you can share that with other folks within the organization, or if you need to review some areas again, we will have that available. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Peter for closing comments.
Yeah, thanks, Robbie. We appreciate everyone joining the webinar today as part of our eFocus series. Again, you can go to capitalbusiness.net and look under the events there to see any of our upcoming eFocus. And really on the screen here, if you want additional information, you can go to or email Jenny Pollock at jpollock@capitalbusiness.net or give her a call. If there are unique situations for your organization, we're happy to take the time to talk through those with you and can set a plan and roadmap for you to go to NXT. Again, thanks for everyone joining today, and as Robbie mentioned, we'll have this recorded, and if you want to review it at a later date, it will be available. Thanks again.